Hi, I'm Luisa,
And Michael,
and we are retired and living in Mexico. Thanks for coming back to see us. Thanks for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, please give us a like and a thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. It helps get other people to see us.
yep, we really appreciate that.
Yeah. And today's video is going to be all about how we found the place we're living in. We had some subscribers ask us, how do you do that? How do you get a rental here? So stay tuned and we'll give you all the scoop. Okay, so we're going to give you kind of an overview of how we decided to come to Puerto Vallarta, how we found our first couple places, and then what the Airbnbs were like that we found, and then how we found our first rental and now the rental that we are in. So we're going to give you a little tour of the rental that we're in now, and so stay tuned for that. So Michael, why did we decide to leave the RV life and come to Puerto Vallarta?
So looking back, we were freezing in San Diego, if you can imagine that. We actually lived in a place called Temecula, which is closer to the desert. Big, gigantic RV community. And a couple of our neighbors during the wintertime would actually take 3 to 6 week visits down to this place called Puerto Vallarta. And we said, that makes sense. Why should we sit here in an RV and freeze? So we have no schedule, lots of time, and Vallarta is a 2-hour plane ride away. We said, let's check it out.
Right. So we flew down. This was right around the holidays, Christmas time. And I was able to find some Airbnbs, which is what we have done since then. This was 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now. But we have decided that when we go check out a new city, I find an Airbnb downtown in the center, the historic center usually, so that we can get a feel for the area.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we'll walk around neighborhoods and see what else there is to see. But the first couple of Airbnbs we found here, well, the first one, they're all very interesting.
Yeah, they all are. And also, it was over the holidays, so that gave us only a limited amount to choose from.
Right. So the first one we found was kind of a cave. It was right downtown, and everything was within walking distance.
Beautiful location.
Perfect, because you could get out of the place and walk a block to
the beach,
and then wander around all over the place. But it felt like a cave.
It was a man cave.
There was one window, a small window to the street, that if you opened that, people could look in. So we didn't open that much. But it was very nice and cool.
It was cool, but it was always dark.
Yeah.
That one needed some repairs. If I remember, I almost cut my finger off. I opened the drawer, I had a knife in my hand, and I cut it. And
yeah, you were pulling the drawer out, and the drawer fell, and you had a knife.
I grabbed it. And anyway,
he was suturing.
You just got to be careful in Airbnbs.
Okay, so that was the first one, and then we moved to another one because I think we were only there for about 5 days.
Right.
And then there was another one that was right downtown on the square next to the church.
Excellent location.
And the people were very, very nice. So they even brought us a bottle of tequila. But this one was odd because first you had to go up a stairwell that you had to duck. So you
your head. I had to duck, and I'm 5'11", 6 feet sometimes. And I'm ducking.
Well, because we were going to hit your head on the stairs.
Hit the stairs.
Then we got up there, and there was a nice living room area.
Like that.
And right next to the street, though, which was very noisy. And it did have a window that could open up and get some air, but
no screens.
No screens. And if you open that up, it was very noisy.
Yeah.
So we kept that closed. And the problem with this one was there was a kitchenette in that living room area.
If you want to call it a kitchenette.
Yeah, it was. It had a microwave. It had a little hot plate.
A hot plate.
And no sink. And so when I have since started looking at Airbnbs, I make sure that it says kitchen with a sink, because the sink was walking through the living room area,
through the
bedroom, out into what is considered like
a wash area.
Yeah. Sink with, you scrub your clothes there. But that's the only place we had water. So we're making oatmeal for breakfast. We're like, how do you clean this out? Oh, you got to walk across.
Oh.
Yeah. And I mean, it was okay, but it was not fun. The worst
The
part, though,
worst part, if I may cut in here, I'd never seen this before. Maybe I heard about it. So the bathroom had a shower, and that
well,
was
nice
fine.
shower.
Nice shower, but it was set up what I call a suicide shower. And what I mean by that is the water is heated by the shower head, and there was a electrical connection with literally almost bare wires. Might be a little bit of covering on it, and that heated up the running water. So literally, it puts you at risk for being electrocuted while you're taking your shower.
I didn't notice that, and I didn't worry about that, and it didn't happen to us. But now we've talked to other people, and they say, "Oh yes, those are called suicide showers."
Suicide showers.
So we were there for a couple days, and then we decided because we were right there at the beach, and I looked at the hotel prices, and they were reasonable, less than
Yes.
$100 a night, probably closer to $60 a night for an ocean front.
Yeah.
And
Ocean
I
view.
said, "Ooh, let's go stay there for a night in between Airbnbs." And so we did that for a night. That's called a beachfront. And let me tell you, you have to be very careful, especially when you get to be our age, because people who stay at the beach, right on the beach, they're wet, right? They come in out of the ocean and
They're
they are
dripping.
dripping water all over, and there's sand everywhere. And so when you're walking out of elevators, it's slippery. And so it was a little dangerous, but beautiful sunset, sunrise, and it was fun for one night. We
One
did that.
night was good.
But then we decided to walk around and find another hotel, which I had found on Booking or something like that. Booking.com, we use a lot. And there was one called Anita's, I think.
Yeah, Anita's. It's still there.
We wandered all over looking for this hotel. And we were in now an area called Amapas, which is near Conchas Chinas. And beautiful, beautiful views.
Breathtaking.
Yeah, from up there. And then we saw a sign, with a U.S. kind of,
Realtor signs.
yeah, like, who was it? I don't know, one of those Century 21 or something like that. But I thought, let's just call and find out how much these cost to buy.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't that be fun? So I did call one, and they spoke English, and she said that they have $400,000 or so, or $200,000, but it needs everything.
Yeah. The 200,000 was like, okay, let's look at this place. But then she says it literally had to be renovated.
Yeah. So we're like, well, we're just looking.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
But then we said, do you have rentals? Because we'd like to look at rentals in the area. So she said, sure, she'd get us in touch with the rental agent at their office. So the next day we get a call from Fred. Fred and his big, huge,
a Jeep 4x4,
which was really important to have if you're going to live in those mountains, because it's really steep. So we said, we'd like to see one with a view, please. And so he showed us one, picked us up, didn't charge us any finder's fees or anything.
Fees. Canadian guy, retired police officer.
Lives here in Vallarta forever. And so he drove us around the neighborhood, showed us the place that we decided to rent. And because it was the high season, we weren't interested in staying that year. So we made reservations for the next season.
If I remember correctly, we left a down payment.
We did. We filled out a whole application and everything.
Yeah.
And, copies of our passport and stuff. And then get the lease in Spanish and in English so that you can figure out what's going on. And I'll put some pictures up here about how beautiful this place was. And for us coming from California with an ocean view and one bedroom, washer and dryer, everything you could possibly want.
Everything's in there. Gated community.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
like a condo.
It was a condo with a security guard.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go ahead and rent that for the following October. And it was $2,500 a month, which again, coming from California with an ocean view, it was a deal. So we moved in there the following year, and it was fun for the first month or so, because I was taking Spanish classes, and you were too.
Yeah, I was going to the American Tree Spanish language school.
Yeah, and problem was, it was downhill like this. which is not a problem going downhill, except for
Initially, because it was clean and
yes, and then
safe.
they started building another condo in front of ours, and so all the dirt from the building was going over the cobblestones. And one day I was walking down and slipped and ripped up my hand. I didn't break anything, but I ripped up my hand. And then when you get down to the bottom of the hill, you have to run across the highway.
Large 4-lane highway.
No,
Well, it felt like it. Cars are
they're
speeding
speeding
around.
and there's no way for
Yeah,
you to stop the cars. And so you have to really be careful. In fact, one lady told us that she ran across that highway
yeah.
and ran into a wire that was across the other side and did a whole tumble thing
Fractured
and
her hip.
fractured her hip. So we were like, okay, this is a little dangerous, but okay, we'll put up with it. I loved the whole walk down to,
Yeah,
because everything was down, 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 down. The only thing is that if you wanted to go to the market, it was quite a ways away.
yeah. And also, this place that they were building in is now fully built and occupied. It was going to take away our beautiful view.
Yeah.
It's awful.
So that was coming up, and we're like, every day there was construction going on. But to go out the back way so that you didn't slip down the hill, they were also doing some renovations or some finishing up of the place we were living in that building. So you had to duck for bricks being tossed up to people who are constructing the building. So we were kind of feeling a little bit like this is not safe. This is
Yeah.
scary. I don't want to leave. And so we called Fred and we told him, I'm sorry, but
Yeah, this
I
lease.
fell going down the hill and we need to talk about a different place. please."
Yep.
And he was quite nice about that.
Yeah, he said, I understand. Let's go for a tour.
And he talked to the owners, of course,
Yeah.
because they're the ones who had to let us out of the lease. And so we got into his big, huge, what is it called? Forerunner?
Jeep 4x4,
Whatever. It was huge.
something.
And he took us all around and we saw several places. And a couple of them were in like Versailles. And, some of them didn't have anything really to look at. Finally, he said, I have one that's brand new
Mhm.
out by the river. It's kind of in a Mexican neighborhood. There's
Yeah, I think that's why he didn't show it to us at first, because he didn't know if we wanted to live in a more traditional Mexican neighborhood.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So we said, yeah, let's go see it. So here we are. We are now in this place called El Romance, which
El
is the
Romance.
neighborhood. And it's 2 blocks to the market, which is heaven. And the river, we can see a little bitty
little portion of it.
of the river.
You can hear
You
it.
can hear it.
I love the jungle view.
Mhm. And this one is only $1,500 a month, which is $1,000 less than the one we had in
Mhm.
Amapas. However, some people will tell you that's still way too much to pay.
Yeah, and our budget fits that 1,500, and I really love all of the where it's located. I love the air conditioning in our bedroom and living room. We got a washer. All the accommodations in here.
Okay, this is our patio up here. And then here's our door. Very pretty door. And we come in to the kitchen area. And we have lots of really nice things in the kitchen. We have the microwave, the air fryer, Instapot, and the double sink, and the stove. No, we do not have an oven. There's some nice cabinetry here. The second bathroom and the washer dryer machine. And we go back out here. Nice table. Here's our love seat because the living room doesn't have enough space for more than that. And here's our nice patio. Say hi, Michael. And the big, huge TV, which you can see from the bed, which is nice size, king size. And then we go in here to the nice bathroom, which is very modern. Here's the toilet back here and the big shower with the rain shower and double sinks.
So
Yay.
meets our needs.
And it's brand new. So that means nobody has stayed in here before and it's all furnished, which is another thing. We did look at another
Oh
apartment.
yeah, we were gonna get that one.
Yeah. through our facilitator for our residency, they have one in their building that was 2 bedrooms, and it was about the same price.
Right.
But they also was unfurnished, so we'd have to do everything.
Yeah.
I think we even had to find a refrigerator
Yeah,
and a
we would
washer
have
and
had to
dryer.
fully furnish it, and then literally that's committing to always being there, not slowing down our travels and that kind of stuff.
Slowing them down.
Well, slowing us down, and and maybe having to resell all of the furniture if we decided to move,
Right,
etc.
because we hadn't really decided if we
Right.
wanted to stay here quite that much yet. But this place comes furnished with a king size bed and nice arm
Two
warmers.
bathrooms.
2 bathrooms. That was heaven. That's heaven, let me tell you. 2 bathrooms. One, not full bathrooms. One is a half a
Yeah.
bathroom. And yes, there are mostly foreigners who live in the building. There
Yeah,
are,
a couple of folks from Guatemala, and I don't know the young lady who's next door.
I know, but I think that guy is just renting as an Airbnb.
Yeah, yeah.
Because one of them was sold to a lady who doesn't live here, but she rents it out.
Oh, okay.
So that's who I ran into, the guy from Guatemala. But the rest of us are all foreigners from Canada or from the U.S.
The States, yeah.
Yeah. And so we're paying, $1,500 a month. I think the one without 2 bathrooms is not quite 1,500. I think
Right.
it's 1,200. But
And they have some seasonal prices. The high season being over the holidays costs more.
If you only want to rent for 6 months.
6 months, and that's etc.
And some of those people who are snowbirds, that's what they do. They
Yeah.
come down for 6 months. So sometimes we see people new and we're like, who's this person? And then other times we see people say, oh, I live here year round, but I come and go, kind of like us.
hmm
So it also is a very nice, secure building because you have to have a key to
Yep.
get into the main door. And then you come up some stairs, and we're on the 3rd floor. And this is what I really enjoyed. We had the pick of the place because there was only one other guy here when we moved in.
That's right.
So we were looking at the 2 on the bottom floor, which are kind of shaped a little strange, but
it didn't have a view.
No, there's no view.
Yeah.
And
the pool was down there, of course.
Pool's down there, which we don't use. We like to look at it.
Yeah.
But we don't use that. And then they have some palm trees that are growing, and sometimes the neighborhood is a little noisy because the Mexicans really like their music, but it's very rare. Very rare.
Yeah. And the bottom floor, even though I think we've resolved this now, had a smoking area. And so we, not only us, but other residents here have said, look, can we please make this a non-smoking area? And for the most part, it's non-smoking in our building now.
Yeah, because there were some people who were living in the bottom floor, the ground floor, and they used the smoking area as their living room.
Yeah.
And so then they didn't smoke inside because
most of the day they were out there, so we couldn't use that area.
And we couldn't use it, and the smoke, goes up, and so it was pretty nasty. But
yeah,
those people have gone. And the new people, I think when they rent to them, they tell them, this is a non-living room kind of area. It's a community area. So if you're going to smoke down
you
here,
gotta find someplace else.
Well, they can smoke there, but they're not staying there all day long. So anyway, we really like it. I love the neighborhood. I love the fact that it's mostly Spanish speakers once we leave the door, and we can walk to the markets. We can walk to the tortilleria. We walk to the beach in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And see the sunrise or sunset. We don't get out much for sunrise. And then my Spanish class is right down the street, and we walk all over. So this is heaven.
Very, very comfortable here.
And so we just want to recommend Fred Peters if you're looking for a rental here in Puerto Vallarta. And maybe we'll leave his number somewhere on the screen. But he's been very, very helpful, and he's very, very nice. So we love it here. And if you have any questions about how to find a rental or to get yourself, we don't know anything about buying the property because we don't have any intention of doing that.
But Fred could help you with that.
Well, he could steer you in the right direction.
Steer you in the right directions.
Yeah. And we really enjoy our landlord, and he lives there in the building. So that's handy too. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's all out of us. That's how we got here, and that's where we're living. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us.
Ciao.
Hasta luego.